So today I'm at Calista Nail Lounge and it's for the launch of Gelish Polygel. So what are my choices?
Rose, lavender, and milk.
Cool. I'd get rose na lang. Thank you.
Both hand.
Oh, okay. Guys, I'm with Shen. Hi. Kamusta?
Saya.
Blooming.
It's Pamper Day today.
Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers with Chai.
You.
polygel, and I'm not worried about slip getting onto the skin. Remember, slip is 7 free. So I don't worry about her having any allergic reactions. You can use too much. You can't. All slip does is keep the brush from sticking to polygel. Let me show you. We're gonna squeeze a little bit. You don't need a lot. That's way too much. That's good. Okay? When you slice it a bead, and then you're gonna roll it onto the nail like this. Okay? Get all 5. Remember, every nail, don't worry about shaping all of this now. You shape it later. Don't waste your time. This might need a little bit more. That's a little too much. It's okay, I throw it away. Ruin all the nails. When you use a tip, put as little bit of tip on the natural nail as possible. So this gap here is too much tip on natural nail. Use only tip should be stuck just on the edge. So only put the tip on the edge. It doesn't need to be that much on the nail. Glue is weaker than polygel. So glue will break down in 10 days. Glue will start to get hard and start to get brittle. Chemically, it starts to get brittle. So you want as little tip on the natural nail as possible. The tip is the only thing the tip does is give you a platform. So, see, I get my brush, I wipe my brush. You don't need it wet. First thing with polygel, put the bead in the middle. We're gonna press it hard. Okay, not just little taps. You press it hard because you want to spread and you force it to stick. Now force it. Make it stick. Okay? Get a little more, but then you wipe it. You don't need a lot. It should not be wet. Do not let it touch the skin. I get almost to skin, and then you stop. Up here, and then spread it out evenly. Get one side done first. One side. Then we will jump over to the other side. Don't worry about this. You can always push that to be thin, but don't let it touch skin. Anytime it touches skin, it comes loose. Okay? Now, we worry about the other side. We got one side smooth, push this over. If this seems like it's getting too close to skin, push it back. Polygel will never dry until you make it dry, or unless you're working right next to a window or outside. But it won't dry until I tell it when to dry. It's not gonna move until I tell it when to move. So, I'm telling it where to go. I'm the one that controls it. You don't let it control you. Move that over. And now we make the whole thing smooth. If you use too much slip, you can make the tip crack because it can go underneath the nail and make the tips crack. You don't want the tips to crack. So we use very, very little slip. Never worry about this edge. You have to file it anyways, right? So don't worry about making it nice and perfect. You're gonna file it anyways. All you worry about really is getting your surface smooth and not on the skin. So eliminate one of the steps. Now that's a nice and smooth nail, right? If you have anything extra, like this tip was a little bit extra there, don't worry about it. You're gonna file it anyways. Now, if you look at this, way too much, right? That's about the right amount. This is way too much. I'm not gonna use it and put it on another nail. I'm gonna do the exact same thing on all of them. But you notice one thing I do. I take the bead, I put it in the middle, and now I'm gonna press hard. Right? Press hard. That's gonna make it even. Push it up. Now my angle on the brush is 45 degrees, right around the cuticle. You want that 45-degree angle. I always get one side first, which is, for me, always the left side. Doesn't mean that is the only way you can do it. You can do the right side first, no problem. Up to you. But you notice I always leave on the table. It's not, don't try doing balancing there. Always have your work area a stable work area. And never get on the skin. Always very thin, so you will need to file around the cuticle, but that way you don't hurt the client. It's so thin, and there's a little space for the file to fit. If the file cannot fit because it's on the skin, you're gonna hurt her. Okay? Jirbie does not like getting hurt. I'm just guessing. She's had her heart broken before.
Not really.
In the future.
I hope not.
No kidding. Now, if you need to add more, like say here this nail, you might need to add a little more. Okay, if you can add more, add a little bit more. Look at this nail, too much, so I don't need this much. Take a little bit here. Just put it on the side. I know that's where I need it. I take this bead, push it up right where I need it. Push it up to where you need it. But remember, your first press is a hard one. You're gonna make the product stick. And you're gonna make the product spread evenly. Take a look at it from different angles. We move on to the next nail. Push the bead in the middle. This is always a hard press. Always hard. And always thin around cuticle. I'm gonna work my one side.
Always start on the left side, sir.
For me, yes. I'm not saying that's the only way to do it. Maybe you like the right side. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it if you like it on the right side first. It's just my way of doing it. So, if you like the right side first, fine. But I always make sure the first thing is always press in the middle. First thing is always make sure that that middle is the strongest, most important part of the nail. Now we're going to always get very thin at the cuticle. And the reason why we get very thin there is so that it's smooth blend. If she can pick at it, she will pick at it. It will get loose and it will start to lift. We never want to give the customer any reason to pick at anything. So if you look at it right now, it looks lumpy. It's okay. I have all of my edges down tight. I don't worry about the center because that's what I'm working next. If I see it looks wet, then I'm using way too much slip solution. Push this where I need it. And anytime you want smooth, you're gonna pull down. But don't worry about anything on the edge. Don't try to make it look so perfect right away. Okay? I don't care. That's just gonna file right off. Move on to the next one. Put the bead in the middle. Smash it. We're gonna smash it really good. press it hard. Force that thing. Okay. When you're pressing, your brush is flat like this. Not up like this, not down like that. Pretty much flat against that ball of polygel. The hardest thing to learn with polygel is how much to squeeze. How much do I put on there? That's always going to be your hardest challenge. But once you start doing a few of them, you'll find you're going to know just by looking at the nail how much you need and how much you will have extra. But remember, polygel is not an acrylic, it's not a gel, it's its own category of product. So it's going to be different than acrylic, it's going to be different than gel. But what it does do is it takes the best from both worlds. So you got no smell that you did have in acrylic, you got light curing, which comes from gel, but you get complete control because you could never control gel, and acrylic dried by time, by the air. This dries when you tell it to dry. It doesn't move on you like a wet ball of acrylic or any type of builder gel. It's going to stay wherever you put it. If you notice, I don't worry about this edge at all. You're going to have to file that anyways. So all I worry about is making a nice smooth nail. Don't waste your time trying to do the edges. Always press hard right here. See, when I press hard on the natural nail. I force it to stick. But next time, remember, no primer or any type of dehydrators go on the tip. Only on the natural nail. Because this one here, pH one, is a dehydrator. All this one does is dehydrate the natural nail. It's not going to do anything for the tip. This one is an acid-free primer. This one does not go in like your traditional primers and etch the natural nail.
Only the natural nail.
Yes, only the natural nail. But that non-acid primer is going to be a double-sided sticky tape. It's going to stick part to the natural nail and leave a sticky layer on the top. So leaving that sticky layer on top is for this to stick and for this to bond to it. Press this down. Always look at from different angles because you want to make sure that the angles you see is from all around. One of the rules to filing the edge here, one of the reasons why I never worry about the edge here is because I'm going to file the edge from the client's point of view. And this part's hanging down here. I don't want it to hang down off the tip. So I'm going to make that extra thin so I can easily straighten that out later. If anything looks like it's touching the skin, pull it away from the skin before it goes in the light. Okay, that's how it should look. We're taking a look at before it goes in. We're good to go. We're going to cure this. Teach your client how to use this light. There's going to be a spot here. Jirbie, once your hand touches that spot, that's when you stop.
Okay.
If you go over, it's not going to cure right. If you before it, it's not going to cure right.
Okay.
So that's how you have your client know where she puts her hand. Now, Jirbie knows exactly where to go. I'm going to hold this for her, and I'm going to protect her eyes by using an eye shield. 30 seconds. If she goes over 30 seconds, that's fine. If she does it twice, no problem. Okay. Now, I'll file this and show you what I mean by filing. Okay, I'll show you with one hand. or one finger, and then I want, let's see, okay? Try not to keep these type of products. It's okay to have a towel or to wipe your brush, but to have something spill, not good. Okay, that's good enough. I take a look. Before you do anything, always touch and feel. Is it where it's smooth? Okay, this one has a little lump right here. Then I'll know I need to file that area. Sometimes if it's too sticky like that, have her cure again. It's perfectly okay. Okay? Perfectly okay to cure twice. When you're using bright white, you always want to cure bright white 2 times. Okay, so bright white, always twice. We're going to let this cure all the way through. I'm going to check your files and see how your files look. Okay, we got 1 second left and we're done there. We're going to set this aside. Typically, when you use brand new ones, they're going to be sharp here. Okay, they're going to be very sharp. When they're sharp like that, you want to remove that edge. Okay, so this one has a soft edge already. It's good. So we will remove a little bit of that. So brand new files, I always remove a little bit of that edge. Remove a little bit of that edge. Now it feels good. Whenever I file, I don't even usually use this guy. It's a little too rough. I only use this one. But that doesn't mean it's wrong for you to use that. Okay, it's just a little too rough for me. First thing, always pinch 2 sides. And then hold your file straight up and down to where you see the blue. You want to make sure that you file this straight. So that way you're not going under to where you can cut her here. You're not going to go over to where you can cut her knuckles up. You want to go straight. If she wants it tapered in a little bit, then taper it in just a little bit. Same thing on the other side. But you notice I'm pulling down with my fingers her skin. I'm protecting her here. So if anybody gets filed, it's going to be my finger, not her. We're going to file this. And then roughly get this edge really quickly. But right after you do that to all the nails, I do the exact same thing to all the nails. Same routine. Do your edges. Take a look at your edge. This one went a little too far. I went a little far on that, so I have to go down a little more. Okay? It's a little thick. I'll file that later. But I get all my edges first. You did a good job of shaping the tip. The way you shaped it, very good job. The only thing with your tip, less on the natural nail. Okay, because glue doesn't hold as strong as product. And that goes for any type of product, whether it's acrylic, whether it's gel, doesn't matter. Glue will always be weaker than tip. And I'm always protecting my client. But you always gotta look at all the angles. Okay? Right now I'm just looking straight at it. I'm not looking at the angles yet, but eventually I will. Once I get this, take a look. Now I want to see her point of view. Hold it this way. I'm gonna hold it tight. If I hold it like this, it feels funny, right? Mm-hmm. Now feel it. How's that feel?
Better.
Hold it tight. That way you can see if it's straight, crooked, and double check. Look at it. Double check that view. File that straight out. Take a look at it. Needs a little bit here. We're gonna straighten that out. Whenever you're checking the length of a nail, hold the hand this way, put the file right up there. You see the gap here? That's how long that nail is, okay? This nail's a little bit longer. Shorten that nail before you take a look. That nail's a lot longer. Still long. Now that's better. That's a little long. Remember, you can always shorten, but you can never keep extending it. Okay? So for me, what I do when I use a tip, I always leave a little bit extra length. That way I bring it down to the length she wants. It's good. So now I can double check this. Take a look. Pull that thing tight. Get that free edge straight. Once that free edge is straight, I can go move on to the next nail. Now, when you look at this nail's going that way a little bit, right? So since it's already going that way, I can't fix it. All I can do is make it look like it's not going so much that way. It could be her nail, it could be the tip, how the tip was on there. We don't know for sure, unless we take everything off and look at it all over from the beginning, which will probably hurt a lot. So I'm not going to do that. So that's about as straight as that nail is ever going to get. Now look at this nail. Take a look. Okay. Now, all my edges are done. All I have to do now is my surface and the lower arch line here. So before I do all that, I'm going to do my lower arch lines. Get this line, and I file it straight out. I don't want the nail looking like a claw or like a talon. I want it to come straight out. So when I want it to come straight out, I imagine there's a straight line through her finger here. That way you don't see a nail going down. You don't see a nail going up. Do the same thing to all of them. If you stick with the same routine, they'll all look the same. Okay, or they'll be as much as the same as possible. Do that. Now we got it straightened out. Now we do the surface. The more file you use, the faster it's going to be. Longer the strokes, smoother the nail. Long. I file one side first. I always do my left side. It's just what I do. Doesn't mean that you can't do any other side. If you do the right side or left side, fine, no problem. But then right around the cuticle is where you get very gentle. Very gentle. I don't want to hurt her. Does this hurt at all?
No, not at all.
Feels very relaxing though, right? Like you can almost fall asleep. Probably not you because you have sleeping issues. When you're using tips, doesn't matter what kind of tip it is, there's always this frayed plastic underneath. And so with that frayed plastic, that's the last thing you worry about. Don't try to fix it now. Do everything in a routine, assembly line style. That way you're the fastest. Pick at it here. If you can grab it, she can grab it. So I pick, I can't grab it. I mean, later on when she goes home, she's not gonna pick at it, or she's not gonna take a shower and oh shit, it's stuck in my hair. Right? Be nice and smooth. But see, I used the whole board of the file. I used a lot of it, and then while I was filing, I don't know if you noticed, I take a look here. I wanted it nice and thin. Now you see how thin that is? Yes. It's thin, but it's still strong. It doesn't need to be thick. This one's too thick. I'm gonna thin that thing down. I'll get my one side first. Polygel is very easy to file. I'm not hard like acrylic. I'm not hard like dip nails. Much much easier to file than any of them.
So hi everyone, thank you for coming today. Right now, we're gonna have a very brief talk regarding the product that we are promoting today, and that is Gelish Polygel. And with us today is Danti, who will talk about Gelish Polygel and Gelish in general, to explain the details of the technology behind it and to give us more information about the thought process that came into developing this product. Danti.
Thank you, Joel. Good afternoon, ladies. How's everybody today? Good. Yes, I can't hear you.
Fantastic, Danny!
No comment. I am extremely grateful and excited that you're able to come here for our Polygel launch. It's my second time in the Philippines. Some of you have probably seen me from last year when we had our Gelish Tip launch. And that was kind of a big, fun event, really packed house for that. So we'll talk a little bit about Gelish Polygel this afternoon. Before we do, I would like to introduce to you our Gelish Asia team, starting with Mr. Vu Nguyen. He's the head of education based in the United States.
Yes. Here.
Vu, you want to say a quick hello to the group?
Hi, group. Pleasure to be here for the second time. Super excited to be in this beautiful salon. I'm so excited that you guys are getting Polygel, the real thing. We've worked very hard on developing Polygel. Unfortunately, with the success of Polygel came a lot of imposters. So I'm glad you guys are getting the real deal. Excited you guys are getting it done by the professionals here. And thank you for welcoming me to your country.
Thank you. Next we have Ms. Cami Tang. She is our head of education for Asia region.
Hi everyone, my name is Jirbie, and hope you all enjoy the Polygel service treatment today. And also, thank you for having me in Philippines. This is my first time. Okay. If you have any questions about Polygel or our brand, our products, feel free to ask me anytime.
Awesome, thank you, Cami. And finally, we have Miss Marina Chang. Marina is based in Taiwan. She's our Asia account executive, so we work as a team to handle the Asia market. And Marina is very new to Nail Alliance. She just joined on last year, so I was the rookie the year before that, and now she takes that title for this year. So,
Hi, good afternoon everyone. My name is I'm from Taiwan. Nice to meet you all. And thank you for inviting us to this beautiful salon. I really like the atmosphere here. It smells great, and I hope everyone enjoyed the Polygel service. Thank you very much.
awesome. Thank you, guys. All right, so maybe you have a couple nails that are uneven. This way, you can still achieve a full, complete-looking manicure without having a full-on extension. Also, for you ladies that like to have a full-on extension, you can have either a French manicure, you can have a color on top, or you can go clear and natural if you choose to. Or if you want to just strengthen your natural nails and have a natural overlay to give your nails a protective coating, to make it a little bit more flexible or a little bit more stronger. See how versatile Polygel is. And if you notice here, we have natural clear, bright white, soft white cover paint.
Tapos after nyan, i-cure pa ulit sa ilaw.
Yes, ma'am. Ano na lang siya, ma'am? Yung top coat na lang, ma'am.
Cool.
Yun na yun. Tayo na lang.
Basin for 8 hours, no? Nice. Nice. Isa pa?
Okay na yan.
Okay, great. Para sa cuticles ba yan? May wasabi, so I just had my Gelish Polygel. So they have 5 paste shades that you can try. If you want to get to know more about it, I will link everything below through the description box, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!
Actually, I know this is my.
Hey guys, so I just had my Gelish Polygel, and it's really nice. It's my first time to have my nails as long as this. Mukha na siyang babae.